Hello friends of the electrified charging fun and welcome to Speicher Elektrisiert. It's road trip time again and we are going to Mlada, Boleslav, to Skoda headquarters, and it's time to go there after 2 years of absence. And basically this road trip will be about traveling in bad weather conditions. See there, it's already raining here in Switzerland and it won't stop until I reach my destination. We will look at several charge and route planners. Of course, we look at consumption and charging and resting and along the route. And if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Feedback is important and I am carefully listening to the feedback of my viewers. And one feedback I receive rather regularly is, I like your videos very much, but hey, they are rather long. And despite the fact that they are even shorter than before, yet yes, still they are rather long. And therefore, even some people started to ask in groups and forums, hey, is there a summary from the latest video of electrified Speicher? And so I thought for myself, why not giving the summary myself? And starting with this video, you will get in most videos of mine an executive summary. And like with every good executive summary, it's not somewhere in between or at the end, it's at the start of the video. And you get every important information out of this, yet condensed. It should make you watch the whole video, so I'll try to keep it short, precise, and to give you an idea what's in that video. I'm going on a road trip to Mlada, Boleslav, to Skoda. For 4 days I am there on location, having meetings and talks and presentations with a lot of people there too, and we talk about various topics around e-mobility and the Skoda ENYAQ. And also I will have a very interesting meetup with the complete members of the board. Yes, you heard that right, and you will be informed as soon as possible I am able to do so. And driving up to Mlada, Boleslav was a pain. It was really bad weather. We had heavy wind gusts, we had strong rain, and basically the ENYAQ then needs 22.5 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, and it took me 10.5 hours instead of 7.5 hours. It was really horrible. And on my way back, sunny day, the sun was shining, no problems at all. I managed to drive with 19.3 kilowatts, 100 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers. I managed to drive with 19.3 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers, and basically only around 7 hours it took me to drive the whole trip. In total, I used 384 kilowatt hours of energy for 1,554 kilometers, and I paid 120 euros, including the charge up here at home before I started. And basically, from here to Mlada, Boleslav, it's 700 kilometers, and that's without any problems doable with 2 charging stopovers with an ENYAQ. And you do not have to drive very slow or very carefully to do this. Charge planning yet is still a big issue with the integrated system due to the missing filters for CPOs. So basically you're still better off with some third-party apps like Pump or ABRP. And the charge breaks, well, you can make good use of them to have a fine cake and to brew your own coffee in a mobile portable coffee brewer. And I did that on that trip, even grinding my own coffee beans, pouring them in, and get some very fine espresso. And if you are interested in one or more of those topics given here, you can watch the whole video. Enjoy! Well then, let's start with the route planning and charge planning with the built-in system. And of course I will use LoRa to tell the system where I want to go. Drive me to the apart hotel na Klinici in Mlada, Boleslav.
Please say the address, starting with the city.
And as you can see, it completely fails because she simply does not understand any of those Czech words in English. So we need to do it by hand. And if I try to tap apart hotel na Klinici, it's working, and it's working, and it's working. Let's add Mlada Boleslav to make it more easier for it. Boleslav to it. And finally I've got a hit. In the German video it does not came up with this hit at all. So fine, I can go there directly. So start the planning. And as you can see, the charge planning is done, and I've been in luck. I've got one Ionity because I want to charge at Ionity, but this is without a lot of options there. This is one of the few fast chargers there, but this one is a wrong charger. And in the German video I even got corrected here and he replaced this with another one. But basically I have to replace this by hand, so this is inconvenient. Let's stop it here and try something different. Let's try the My Skoda app. Maybe we are in luck to get a different result within the app. And yes, the app here knows the apart hotel. I already done it for the German video. Let's do the route planning. And as you can see, it comes up with different chargers. There's the Ionity again, but there I've got an ENBW and there I've got a Shell Recharge. And basically I would have to replace both of them. I can't do that in the app, but let's send it to my car. Send it and start. And let's see what the car will do out of it. And there you go. It removed one charger, the Ionity, and keeps the ENBW and the Shell Recharge. So no luck for me here, but yeah, it's working, but it's not that what I want or what I try to achieve here. So let's do something different. Let's use the app Pump. And within Pump, I already did it in the German video. Of course, it knows the apart hotel. Let's do the route planning. And here I set the favorite to Ionity. You see it down here. I prefer Ionity. And basically I've got one Ionity here and another here, but I'm not happy with this. The ENYAQ charger here is not what I want. I would have expected to have an Ionity here as well. And normally Pump does this, but here simply it did not. So let's try a better route planner. Of course, I already experiment here, and the better route planner of course knows the apart hotel. So let's do the planning. And again, also in ABRP, I set Ionity as one of my preferred charging providers. And you see, this wants to go with two chargers. Both are Ionity. And now it's getting funny, right? So basically, some of the apps think I can do it with two chargers. Some think with three chargers. And let's see how this will work out when we're on the road. And I guess I will use Pump or maybe a better route planner while driving. Let's see how that works out. Finally, I'm plugged in and I'm charging up. And it took me 4 hours to solely get behind Munich. I'm here at Eching near Garching and I've got 7 traffic jams. Holy moly. But charging up means charging up your body as well, and look what we've got here. Finally, I brought me something to get the fine coffee I want on my way. I invested in a portable espresso machine, not the expensive one from Skoda, another one from Amazon. And basically you could put in those Nespresso caps or capsules, and you can also use in these little boxes here your own coffee. And guess what? Of course, I brought everything I need to make it. There you go, my espresso mug, my coffee beans from home, which I love so much, and a grinder to get them done. Since I'm already at 53%, I did not grind my coffee. I put in such a capsule and it's all set up. The water is up in here, 50 milliliters. And as you can see, the machine is already going to boil the water to make my coffee. And to make it complete, I've got me a small cake. So basically a bit of enjoyment and fun whilst it's raining outside. It can be so easy. And just to be clear, yes, I've got that coffee machine for free from the manufacturer to test it and to show it to you. We will talk about that machine later on. When I'm on my way back from Skoda, and then we also will put the grinder to good use. And there you go. There is my coffee with a bit of creamer. I guess for a capsule this is perfectly fine. And we are already at 65%, so basically I'm in a hurry right now to eat my cake and have my coffee. So filming and making coffee is quite hard to do in a normal charging break. So yes, now it's getting stressful again. And whilst I really enjoyed my coffee, in the meantime I even had a small break over there. And see what happens? There is no route planning anymore. And guess what? Yes, the ENYAQ has forgotten my route planning after locking the car up for only a couple of minutes. And basically, it does not forget it, right? It remembers it, but then I found out why. Because my destination here is built with Google and not in the standard navigation software. And therefore, he simply forgets about it and deletes it, even if you only close the car for a couple of seconds. Yes, and if you've done a manual charge planning, it's gone as well. So glad that I am using another app right now and do not have to use it, but it's always funny to see how many new shortcomings in the charge and route planning of the ENYAQ you will find once you're going on a long distance trip again. Finally, I'm at the hotel. It was such an awful trip. It rained heavily, there were strong winds, I've got 9 traffic jams, and instead of being here at 6 p.m. it's already 8:30, and basically, yeah, I'll show you the stats before I go tired to bed. Here you go, 700 kilometers, I drove nearly 9 hours, then charging comes on top. So basically it was 10 hours to come here. You see the average speed is not very high. Consumption but is very high with 22.5 due to the weather conditions. And I'm so tired, but let's quick have a look at the car scanner here. So you've got the data and I can do the math afterwards, and then we'll hear each other tomorrow. So good night. What you see there above the tree line in front of me, that is all Skoda. This is Mlada, Boleslav, and that are the Skoda production facilities right there. So basically everything you see there. So get a nice overview from this little hill where I'm standing here right now. But now let's move into the city to get a closer look. Now I moved downtown to Mlada, Boleslav, and here you see the first parts of the complete production facilities. I cannot walk around all of those because simply that would be a rather long walk. But there in front of me you can already see the new Lorraine and Clement campus, the new administration building of Skoda recently opened up, and now we will first head over there, and then I will also show you the old administration facility or the oldest administration building. So of course you see that this is modern architecture as business architecture as of these days is, and if you look behind that building there you see all the direction there and everywhere there. This is all the production facility of Skoda, the far you can look. But now let's stick with the administration building here. And yes, you will be surprised when you see how the old buildings for the administrations looked like. Now let's move from that modern office building over to what Mlada Boleslav looks like on the other side of the road. And there you've got that Soviet era style 70s buildings all over the place. And there it is. That is the old headquarters of Skoda. You see that logo, that old one on top. And this used to be their headquarters. No comparison to today's headquarters of the brand new one. And over there, the other white building is another administration building in the same style, also from Skoda. And of course, over there again you see all the production facilities which go on and on and on. And if you continue in that direction you will find the Skoda Museum, which might be worth a visit. And right there behind that tree over the parking lot, not very standing out, is the main entrance to the production facilities here in Mlada Boleslav. And do you see all the chargers here on the parking lot? They are prepared for electric driving. And basically for this video as of today, I do not enter through that gate because for me it stops at the fence right now. Because on my visit for the couple of days I'm here, we have something better to do than simply watching the production line. By the way, if you're interested in that, there is a video from the battery production on my German channel. So if you want to watch this, feel free. Because the topics we are covering on my trip now are way more important, I think, to you than solely visiting those production facilities. But you can, if you like. I think there is a public program which you can apply to, so if you want, you can do that. And for me, this is it. This is where your car comes from when you're buying a Skoda. What you see behind me here, that is the Hux from Skoda. And look at that beautiful sky. The sun is up and it's blue, finally. And now it's time to hit the road and drive back home to Switzerland. What the Hux is all about, you will learn in a separate video. But now let's don't waste any more time because there's a still long trip ahead of me and it's quite close to noon. So here we go, let's hit the road. First charging stop over on my way home at Wernberg-Köblitz. As you see, again on Ionity. You know I like to charge with Ionity, it makes it easier for me. But as so often with the Ionity stations, the display is dead. And it's not only here. See over here, no display at all. There is one working, over there this is working, but basically that is the Ionity experience. You have the charger for you alone, yet the displays are more often not working than working. Well, I guess that's a problem of those tritium chargers. I got myself a Subway sandwich right now, went to the toilet and look at that. I started at 11%, now I'm up to 50%. I have not eaten yet. Yes, I have done the German take of this here, but what I wanted to talk about is not my sandwich nor the charging, it's my visit at Skoda in Mlada, Boleslav. Because basically I went there on Friday and now it's Tuesday and I'm leaving. And those days were completely packed with information and with stuff, and everything I could and were allowed to record will come in the next weeks to this channel. And Skoda this time did something I did not expect. And they followed one very important slogan here: show, don't tell. And they did. Unfortunately, they showed so much that on a lot of those events and workshops I were not allowed to record. I had to put my phone and the camera in a locker. And I was invited to do a presentation at the VHC, which is a German English word, Vorstandsausschuss customer, meaning board committee customer. And the important thing on that is the whole members of the board, all of them, were there and listened to me, and they listened carefully. So they watched my words. And the important thing on this is, you made that happen. My viewers who said, go there, we support you. Because they would never invite me without you, without the community. And unfortunately, I was not allowed to film at that VHC meeting, but you will see the presentation anyway on this channel in the near future. And now I will have my Subway. And now it's time for coffee. Look at this. Of course, I have my little espresso machine, my mobile one, and Skoda provided me with coffee beans, curiosity fuel, sustainable coffee for sustainable ideas. Basically, that is Skoda's own coffee grown on family farms and roasted in the Czech Republic. And yes, some lovely beans here. And therefore, of course, you have to bring your grinder. So let's make some fine coffee now. By the way, this is a really nice grinder. You find an affiliate link in the description. I bought it my own. It's not sponsored, but I really love this grinder here. It's really well made. It's a really good thing to use. Time More is the name of it. I love that. And now we've got some fine coffee here ready to brew. Of course, you could also pre-fill those 3 at home if you're going on a journey, if this is enough for you, so you don't have that mess with the coffee powder around here. And after opening up the machine and removing the capsule holder like this here, you can simply put that small piece in here, then simply screw it together, and you're ready for some fine coffee. Now let's pour the water in, and here we go. Well then, simply press a bit longer here until you hear the beep, and now the machine is ready to heat up the water. You can find that handy machine on Amazon. I personally like it, and I'm happy that they provided this one here to me, because for me that's perfectly fine working. First off, I was a bit skeptical about that machine because simply I had no clue whether it is of good quality or not. But for me, this thing really works out. And when it's empty, I can charge it even in the car. Maybe you now hear the water begins to boil. Now it's building up pressure. And here we go, some fine Skoda coffee. And we are done. Well, look at this. This is how an espresso should look like. Look at that crema. It's perfectly hot and it tastes, oh, that's sweet, like cherries, as mentioned on the packaging of the coffee. So now let's see. Yes, this is how an espresso should be. That's really good coffee. I have to admit, Skoda is definitely able to have good coffee and to roast that coffee really well. And in this moment, cheers to the guy who gave me not only those coffee beans, but organized all the days I was in Mlada, Boleslav, and my personal contact there, Jirka Brinda. Thanks for everything. Dude, you really, really rock. And then you come home from a multi-day road trip visiting Skoda in Mlada, Boleslav, and the mountains around you are already snowy. And even though you might not know it, the right song just came up in my playlist. Hubert from Geusern, he's from Austria, with his song Far, Far Away. But we are not here because of that song. We are here because of the statistics of my drive back home. And as you can see, this is much better on my drive up to Mlada, Boleslav. 660 kilometers, 6 hours 44. And look at that average consumption. Only 19.3. That's over 2 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometer less than on my way up to Mlada, Boleslav. And there you can see what heavy rain, wind gusts and colder temperatures do. But to be honest, that's not electro car specific. You also have that with your ICE in such conditions. Well, the whole trip, that was 1,554 kilometers, and I spent 384 kilowatt hours on this. And if you do the math, then you're at 247 watts a kilometer. Why is that so high? Because simply the regeneration is not taken into account with that value. The ENYAQ regenerated around 50 kilowatt hours on the whole trip, and then you would be down to 215 watts a kilometer. Yet a high value still. Well, due to those weather conditions on driving to Mlada, Boleslav, with those wind gusts and with all of that heavy rain, I was so slow and even had a so high consumption of 22.5 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers. Well, in such conditions, energy consumption goes up. And on the way back, 19.3, driving much faster, but on a sunny day. And there you see how environment influences consumption. And in total, I spent 120 euros on charging. I charged mainly with Ionity. One time I had to charge in Mlada, Boleslav at a PowerPass Ellie charger for absurd high prices, and also included my home charging before the trip. And that would lead to 7.72 euros per 100 kilometers with my ENYAQ. I'm not sure what diesel or gasoline is per liter in your country, but in Germany it is currently €1.50. And if you now do the math, you would get 5.14
5 liters of diesel for the same price of my energy. And that, from a pure perspective of costs, would again is close to making combustion engines attractive again, despite all the other advantages an EV has. And that makes me thinking about it. What if these fossil fuels getting even cheaper right now? Where should that lead? But anyway, what I would be interested is, what did you thought about the executive summary? Is that something helpful for you? Is it like you would have imagined it? Did it match the video in total? If you watched the whole video, please write me in the comments, because if that is the way to go, I will put it in most of my videos, because it's better to lose a bit of money on advertising than to lose a subscription or a viewer. So in case that you like that video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so we see each other in the next video. And until then, stay full of energy.